Imagine a crop that outgrows weeds, survives brutal winters, feeds you more minerals than potatoes, and comes back every single year from a single planting. Once, this perennial superfood promised self-sufficiency even when the world froze. Now, you barely see it in any supermarket. Why would a plant that lets you plant once, harvest forever, even in winter, vanish from our tables? The answer upends everything you know about how industrial agriculture chose your dinner. Standing in a field of Jerusalem artichokes, the first thing that catches the eye is the height, stalks rising 6 feet, sometimes even 10 feet, each crowned with a sunflower's golden face. But the real marvel lies underground. Instead of a single root, a tangled web of rhizomes stretches outward in every direction, weaving a living net just beneath the surface. Along these rhizomes, clusters of knobby tubers form, each one a new promise for next year's harvest. Unlike the potato, which demands replanting every spring, this perennial machine regenerates on its own. One planting can expand into a sprawling colony, spreading several feet outward each season, quietly multiplying while the above-ground stalks die back each winter. Over decades, these colonies thicken, filling the soil with edible treasure that waits for the right moment to be unearthed. The plant's architecture is a blueprint for endurance, an underground pantry, always stocked, always ready, no matter how harsh the seasons above. Beneath the rough skin of a Jerusalem artichoke lies a nutritional profile that outpaces the humble potato in ways most people never imagine. The tubers are packed with inulin, a prebiotic fiber that makes up 15 to 20% of their dry weight. While potatoes deliver starch that quickly turns to sugar in the bloodstream, sunchokes offer a slow, steady fuel for gut bacteria, feeding the microbiome and not spiking blood sugar. Inulin is not just a digestive bonus. It is a metabolic edge, fostering a healthier gut environment and supporting immune function. Alongside inulin, Jerusalem artichokes deliver nearly twice the iron found in potatoes, about 3.6 milligrams per 100 grams, plus a generous dose of potassium and phosphorus. These minerals are essential for blood health, muscle function, and bone strength, quietly fortifying the body with every bite. In a time when most diets lean on empty carbohydrates, this knobby tuber stands out as a genuine powerhouse, offering a mineral-rich, gut-friendly alternative that industrial agriculture left behind. Cold air settles over the field, and something remarkable begins beneath the soil. As temperatures dip, the Jerusalem artichoke's inulin, a complex, starchy fiber, starts to transform. Frost triggers an alchemy. Inulin breaks down into simple sugars, turning each tuber sweeter with every freeze. This is not just a quirk of chemistry, it is a survival tactic refined over millennia. While potatoes and most roots rot or turn bland in winter's grip, these tubers become more inviting, not less. Even when the ground stiffens and snow covers the earth, the harvest waits below, untouched and improved. Accessibility is the plant's secret. No cellar, no special storage, just a living pantry that sweetens at nature's command. In the bleakest months, when most crops disappear, the Jerusalem artichoke offers a rare promise: fresh, nourishing food, sweeter for the hardship of winter itself. Samuel de Champlain first encountered Jerusalem artichokes in 1605, growing in neat rows along the gardens of the Nauset people on Cape Cod. Struck by their taste, which he compared to artichoke hearts, Champlain gathered tubers and shipped them across the Atlantic. By 1616, these knobby roots were sprouting in French soil, quickly spreading through kitchen gardens and monastic plots. Monks, always searching for crops that could weather the bitter months, seized on the sunchoke's gift. It was a root that could be left in the ground and dug up, fresh and sweet, even after frost had claimed the fields above. Monastic ledgers from Burgundy and Normandy record Jerusalem artichokes as a daily staple in winter potages, sometimes dried or infused with spirits for leaner years. In rural France, the tuber earned a reputation as the poor man's potato. It became a quiet hero during famines, sustaining both peasants and religious orders when grain ran short. Its role in bridging the hungry gap gave it a place of honor, not just among foragers, but at the heart of early modern survival. Engineers tasked with adapting potato harvesters to Jerusalem artichokes hit a wall. The machines, built for smooth, round tubers, jammed and broke down on the knobby roots of the artichokes. In the 1920s, new grading rules demanded straight, blemish-free produce. Sunchokes, with their twisted, unpredictable shapes, failed to meet these cosmetic standards. Agricultural bulletins labeled them unmachinable. Packing houses refused to handle crops that could not be sorted or boxed by conveyor. Hand-harvesting sunchokes took triple the labor of potatoes, and no machine could fix it. Seed companies quietly dropped them from catalogs, and extension agents steered farmers toward crops that fit the new industrial mold. The rules were not just about efficiency. They defined what counted as food. The rise of mechanized agriculture did not just leave sunchokes behind. It buried them, and it set a precedent. If a plant could not be controlled by the machine, it had no place in the modern diet. By 1930, the Jerusalem artichoke had vanished from nearly every major seed catalog in the United States. Companies that once listed pages of perennial tubers quietly removed them, citing low demand and rising labor costs. Farmers who relied on the crop were left with no buyers and no support, as extension agents and agricultural bulletins steered investment toward annuals that fit the new industrial template. The final blow came decades later during the farm crisis of the 1980s. Amid a push for homegrown biofuels, hundreds of Midwestern growers planted sunchokes for ethanol production, lured by promises of easy profits. But the tubers defied industrial dryers and stills, clogging equipment and failing to convert efficiently. Markets collapsed overnight, leaving fields unharvested and debts unpaid. The Jerusalem artichoke's long decline was not a story of failure in the soil. It was a casualty of vanished markets, erased first from catalogs, then from memory, as the machine's logic dictated what survived. Eric Toensmeier stands at the forefront of a quiet comeback. In his backyard and through his writing, he has made a career out of championing perennial vegetables, none more fiercely than the Jerusalem artichoke. His book, Perennial Vegetables, reads like a field manual for lost crops, and his workshops draw gardeners eager for something more resilient than the annual grind. He shares tubers from his own patch, mailing them to strangers, swapping them at seed exchanges, and urging others to plant for the long haul. Thanks to advocates like him, the Jerusalem artichoke is no longer just a relic. It is a living rebellion, spreading root by root, neighbor to neighbor. Planting Jerusalem artichokes is almost effortless. Drop the tubers 4 to 6 inches deep in loose soil. Space them 1 foot or more apart. 12 to 18 inches gives each plant room to sprawl. Choose a sunny patch and let them settle in. There is no tilling or yearly digging required. After the first season, the colony expands on its own, sending up new shoots each spring. Harvesting is just as simple. Dig around the edge of the patch at any time, especially after frost sweetens the tubers. Leave a few behind, and next year's harvest is already planted. Roasted Jerusalem artichokes take on a nutty, almost sweet flavor, somewhere between a chestnut and a water chestnut, with a hint of artichoke heart. Sliced thin and fried, they crisp up better than any potato chip. Pureed into soup, their earthy sweetness shines through, especially after a hard frost. Some people worry about the infamous gas, but a slow roast or a simple ferment converts inulin into something gentler on the gut. Eating sunchokes is not just about taste. It is an act of resistance. Every bite pushes back against the bland uniformity forced by industrial agriculture. Growing and sharing this forgotten crop is a quiet rebellion, a way to reclaim lost flavors and restore real biodiversity to the table. Industrial agriculture still sidelines crops like Jerusalem artichoke, plants that offer resilience and year-round yields without chemicals or replanting. In a world facing soil depletion and food system shocks, their absence isn't just history, it is a risk. Sometimes the future grows from what we nearly forgot. Share your thoughts below.